So Mike Amor from Channel 7 News joins us for a second episode of E-Talks. So been a roller coaster couple weeks or so. How have you survived lately?
Can I swear?
More than welcome to.
You're more than welcome to. I've done enough swearing lately. Oh, look, it's been a rough time, and thanks for having me, Nick. The first time I've really spoken about it. It's not really what I'd want people to see of me. Certainly swearing. I stand by what I said, my sentiments. Mm-hmm. But we were 20 minutes before we were due to go on air. Beck Madden, God bless her, a good mate of mine, she got me into trouble in about 5 days at Channel 7. I'm blaming her. Obviously, it's not something I would like to be remembered for. You'd point out that I've now been an internet sensation twice, once for swearing, once for getting hit on the head with a bloody skateboard. Again, neither would be the way I'd like to be remembered after, what is it now, 36 years of journalism. But it is what it is. It happened. People talk about a hot mic. It was not a hot mic. It was 20 minutes before we were due to go on air. It was two people having a conversation. But newsreaders all over the world have conversations on sets before they're on air. That's the reality.
Because my main question is, how did it even get out there? Was it something you were just completely unaware of? Were you and Beck just talking as you normally would, and you just all of a sudden someone's filming you and it comes out, the rest of Australia knows about you guys? How did it happen?
Well, we were having a conversation. You heard, she asked, I answered. It was a fruity conversation. And we have those conversations. All newsreaders have those conversations. Generally, the rule is when you're on air, you be very careful because, slight switch of, whatever the mic is can go live to air. We weren't on air. That doesn't mean that I shouldn't have sworn, but I'm a country boy. That's the way I talk around my mates, and Beck's my mate. It turns out that the feed was going out to closed captioning people. Someone at home who was working from home thought it was a smart idea to send it to a friend who sent it out, and there you go. It's out there again. I apologise for my fruity language. And my dad actually rang me, and he doesn't do the internet. He doesn't even have an email. He said to me, "Mate, some bloody thing on YouTube or something where you're swearing? What the hell's going on?" So I thought, oh God, I'm in trouble with Mum and Dad too.
I remember I actually reached out to you prior to that. So I remember I reached out to you on LinkedIn, and it was all sorted. And then I think the next couple of days after, I see this video of yourself and Beck Madden saying all that stuff, and I'm like, hang on. That's the guy I'm meant to be talking to.
That guy.
Yeah, I'm like, geez. I thought it was just like, what's
something you're proud of, huh? That guy. Even my son started getting messages. Who's 14. He's like, Dad, what happened? It's like, oh, great.
Speaking of family members, I actually got one here. It's actually on your Instagram account from your auntie saying, "Good on you, Mike. You've just said what most people are thinking. I'll have to come down and wash your mouth out with water and soap, though."
I rang her because I love my auntie Helen. I rang her and I said, and she hadn't seen it. Her children had pointed her to it, my cousins, and said to her, "Be careful. It's fruity," and she doesn't swear, and I love her dearly. So I had to apologise to her. She wasn't very impressed by it. Look, I've copped some flack. I didn't stutter, so clearly I meant it. I'm happy to be judged by it. It's my dad used to say to me, "Did you kill anybody, mate?" I didn't. No one died, so
no one was
it was just somebody's opinion. I as a journalist, I don't want to be part of the news cycle. I really don't. That's not my job. My job is to report the news, not be part of the cycle. I don't know that our opinions made any difference to the debate. But yeah, it was a difficult few days.
What's the first thing that comes to your mind as soon as you've just seen all this stuff blow up on social media? Are you thinking, okay, is my job under pressure now? Am I in trouble? What are people going to think of me?
Well,
what's the first thing that comes to you?
I was actually sitting on the couch. It was like 9 o'clock at night, and Jackie Felgate actually, a colleague of ours, sent me this email that said, "Look, this is going around." I'm like, oh shit, this is going to be a tough day. And I'm good mates with Karl Stefanovic, and I remember he contacted me after the famous drunk on air after the Logies, and he actually contacted me and said, "I wasn't that drunk, mate." And I looked at it later and I said, "Mate, you were bloody drunk." And I remembered that moment and I thought, well, it could go two ways. People could either be horrified and shocked by it and offended by it, or hopefully people see a side of me that's real. I do swear. I'm a country boy. I don't tolerate bullshit. I don't tolerate dickheads. I have an opinion. I don't necessarily let that opinion be part of what I do as a news reporter unless I'm asked.
In a way, I think it's actually a blessing that it kind of happened because, in my opinion, I think the way you guys are portrayed in that clip, even though it didn't go as planned, I think it shows this authentic, genuine side to news reporters that you guys are still human beings. You still swear. You still have normal private conversations that everybody else has out there.
Oh, look, I have very, we and so does Beck, have very strong conversations. And Beck is a personal friend of mine. She's married to my longtime cameraman and one of my best mates. We have had many fruity conversations over a bottle of wine or two. So that's the relationship we have. But does that impact what we were about to do in 20 minutes' time? No, it doesn't. We didn't let our opinion of what was happening reflect in that night's news broadcast. The Novak Djokovic story was reported by very experienced journalists who I had no influence on. But do I have an opinion about things? Sure, I'm a 53-year-old man. Yeah, of course I do.
Do you regret what you said?
No, not one bit. I regret that I swore. I regret that people saw me swearing because I do swear, but I'm very select in who I swear around.
Yeah.
I wouldn't swear in front of your parents or your grandparents. I wouldn't swear in front of strangers. Do I swear having a drink with the mates? Do I swear talking to Beck? Yeah. Again, I'm a country boy. I'm proud of my roots.
Yeah. So a month on,
your
opinion is still the same as it was.
Look, I come from a working class background. My dad was a newspaper printer. I fundamentally believe that no one is better than somebody else. You can earn millions of dollars. You can be rich. You can have your head on the TV occasionally. That makes you no better than anybody else and should not get you any favours done. So was it Novak Djokovic's fault that he arrived here? Probably not. I don't know. Mistakes were made. But fundamentally, I don't believe that it doesn't matter whether you're $1 million tennis player or someone just trying to get home to see their sick mum and dad or from overseas. You should not be treated any differently.
I want to talk about the backlash that came from just the general public via social media or just perhaps in person. What are some things that stood out to you? Was it mainly applause, criticism, backlash?
I got a lot of both, I guess. I got a lot of abuse, but that's fine. Novak Djokovic fans are very dedicated people.
Tough breed to serve.
Well, look, I'm a Richmond supporter, so if people criticise Richmond, I'll give them a serve too. So some of it was a bit extreme. I mean, I ignored it. These people are hiding under their couches and sending you messages. They're just anonymous trolls. That's the nature of the way we work.
Any in-person encounters?
No. Thankfully not. No one's let it. I'd go to the local shop down the road, and they kind of have a chuckle, and I'm like, oh God, you've seen it too. So I've apologised to a lot of people that are out and about, saying that I'm sorry that you saw me swear, but no one's been critical of it. Because
I'll be surprised, Mike. I'm actually really, really surprised that it actually made outside of Australia in terms of news. I think it made the Jimmy Kimmel show.
It did.
What was your reaction to that?
Oh, look, again, I'd rather not be on Jimmy Kimmel. My in-laws in America thought it was very funny. Obviously, they saw it. They did say that I had a potty mouth. That's the way it works. I mean, I got hit in the head on the skateboard, and I was in Cuba where they don't have internet, and this guy pulled me up and said, and it was years later, said, you're the guy that got hit in the head with a skateboard. I mean, the internet. I'm old. I don't want to be an internet sensation.
What have you learnt not only about yourself following this, but learnt about other people?
Oh, nothing. Nothing at all. I mean, I am who I am. Beck is who she is. Someone decided to do something. I don't know whether it was just mean-spirited or not, or just thought it was a lark. No, I'm confident in who I am. The older you get, Nick, you're not as bothered by what people think of you. I mean, no, look, probably, are we more careful in the studio? Yeah, we probably are. But, we were betrayed by somebody we didn't know. They've paid a price. I don't know the person. I don't know their motivation. I was confident it wasn't somebody at Seven.
Yeah.
And it wasn't.
And I think if it wasn't for this day and age with social media, I don't think it would have blown up as much as it did perhaps maybe 20 years ago.
No, well, there wouldn't no outlet for it. No, exactly, it wouldn't have. This is a modern day situation.
And I think back on social media, I think because so many people can access it and they can see your profile, so many people can have their say and they can, send you a message and say, Mike, you idiot.
Direct access.
Mike, you legend.
You idiot was probably one of the softer, criticisms. But that's fine, and that's the way it should be. You use social media to reach out to me, and I have people reach out to me, and Beck even more so, all the time, and I enjoy it, and I'm open to criticism. I criticise people for a living. I'm open to criticism.
I will move topics now. I think we've spoken enough about Djokovic.
Do you want me to swear just to really give it to you?
Up to you. No, feel free. We'll move on to a new topic. I think Djokovic has been well and truly full on in your life the past month or so. So we'll move on to just the news in general. Now, perhaps the past 2 years, ever since the COVID pandemic had started, a lot of people are throwing backlash at mainstream media. So that includes Channel 7, Channel 9, Channel 10, saying things like the media is the virus, the media misinforms people, the media gives fake news, they're just there to scare you, they're there to make money, they don't care about whatever's going on. What are your thoughts when people say this?
Look, again, people are entitled to their opinion, even if I don't agree with it. I think that, you are entitled to an opinion.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that certainly Donald Trump and now the pandemic has done has kind of reinforced the need for a very strong mainstream media, which Channel 7 is part of. Our ratings were never stronger than during the pandemic because people wanted to know. I don't know what to say to people who believe in conspiracy theories. That's their lot. That's their lot in life. We delivered the news as best we could and tried to filter through the political spin, of which there was a lot. But we deliver the facts as best we can, and we stand by that. This mainstream media, it started by Donald Trump. I was in America when Donald Trump started that.
Fake news.
Fake news. You know what it did? It had the opposite effect because all of a sudden, all the outlets he was calling fake news, mainstream media, don't trust these journalists, their readership started going up. Yeah. Their viewership started going up. They were never more relevant.
I remember watching this documentary on Trump. I think it was about just the story of how many different things there were about him that were just so funny. Like he didn't know what was going on half the time. He was just spreading all these weird comments in his press conferences to the media, and the media would ask him about certain topics, about what they thought about this, why aren't you doing this right, why aren't you taking control of COVID, because at the start of COVID he wasn't taking control of it, he was kind of putting it to a side. And as soon as he kind of got these hard questions put at him and he didn't want to answer them, he'd go, fake news. He'd kind of pull the card out.
That was his way of trying to avoid scrutiny, and it worked to a degree because there's a certain population in America that still believes Donald Trump should be president, believes Donald Trump will be president again. So it worked, but didn't work well enough for him to remain president in a second term. And you're seeing some of that in Australian politics as well, both sides. It's easy to attack the messenger. That's an age-old thing, and that will continue. Yeah. Mainstream media is just the latest catch cry for attacking the people who are the messenger.
A phrase that really intrigues me about mainstream media is the mainstream media is there to engage, not inform. What are your thoughts on that phrase?
I think we're there to do both. We are there to inform, but also we are there to challenge the political spin. Yeah. People to say that we weren't challenging what was being told to us by both the federal and the state government. There was a lot of spin going on right around the issue of the pandemic. Yeah, we challenged that. Absolutely, that is our job. We are there to make people who are telling spin feel uncomfortable. We are there. Our job is to find the truth and deliver the truth.
Yeah, because one thing that makes me get to that phrase is, especially the clickbait you see on social media with mainstream media. This is not just only Channel 7. This is pretty much every news station across the world. And one in particular that got to me was, I think it was reported a month ago that Australia had a total of 1 million coronavirus cases in total since the pandemic began. But instead of putting that in the title, they said 1 million cases recorded in Australia.
Yeah, so, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, there is examples of good journalism and bad journalism. I can't talk to that. But I stand by my profession, and I know that most of my colleagues, all of my colleagues that I know, they're there and they're doing their best to tell the truth. You can attack us with the conspiracy theories and the cute nicknames, but I stand by what I do, and I know that my colleagues stand by what they do. Are there sometimes examples where the media doesn't work well? Yes, completely. Where we get it wrong? Absolutely. Have I gotten things wrong? Absolutely. Not deliberately. Like any profession, mistakes are made. But I know that in our newsroom, that every day that we go to where we are delivering what we, at that point in time, believe is right and the facts. Now, I say that because things can change. What you think is fact can later down the track end up being spin or incorrect or wrong. I'll give you an example. I went to the United Nations and I covered Colin Powell, former Secretary of State, former US general, great American, died recently. He was at the United Nations and he was delivering the evidence against Iraq to prove that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction because America wanted to go to war with Iraq after September 11, claiming that they were part of the attack. It was all bullshit. Now, he delivered it, and I believe he thought it was the truth. I reported it as evidence given to the United Nations. It was all garbage. He should have questioned it. I should have delivered it probably in more, rather than as fact, I should have delivered it as America claims. Because it wasn't right at the time.
Yeah. Okay.
It wasn't right later down the track.
Yeah. Would you rather be first to break the story but 90% correct, or second to break 100%?
No, I'd rather be last and right than first and wrong.
Yeah. All right, Mike, we're going to play a little game.
All right.
So, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to say a word.
Yeah.
And you got to think of the first word that comes to your mind when I say this.
All right.
Okay?
I've already got myself into trouble once this year, so hang on. All right, go.
Up to you.
No. Okay, go on, give it to me.
All right. Chocolate.
Ooh, addiction.
Addiction?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beach.
Sandringham.
Cars.
Mustang.
Footy.
The Mighty Tigers.
Djokovic.
I have nothing against Djokovic at all. Nothing. I mean, you've never heard of my name. I have nothing against him.
Okay, that's all good. That's sweet. And we'll finish off the potty with a bit of humour. Not so much for your side,
yeah.
But I want to run through. I think it was it 2014? It might have been, or might have been earlier than that. The time when you were broadcasting and the skateboard incident happened on live television.
No, it wasn't live. It was
television.
recorded. It was being reported that it was live, but no, it was being recorded. Yeah. So we were at Venice Beach. There's a famous skate park down there, and we were doing a story. It was a pretty innocuous story. It was a story about somebody had invented the hoverboard out of Back to the Future.
Oh, right.
And so we were doing a story, so we went down and we're doing a piece to camera in front of the skateboards. And this kid did this trick and came up and hit me on the back of the head. I blame my cameraman because he didn't warn it was coming. The kid hit me pretty hard too, by the way. The kid grabbed his skateboard and pissed off pretty quickly because that's the land of litigation.
I find it strange though, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, right.
That the skateboard happened to hit your head, who happened to be reporting.
You think it was a setup?
I just think it was such a 1 in a million chance of that happening because could have been anybody else there. There's probably how many people there at the time.
No, there wasn't a lot of people there. I don't know whether he deliberately did it. I don't think so. I don't skate, so I don't know how hard that would have been.
Yeah.
But I gave him back his skateboard. He pissed off, and then I had to do the piece to camera. I hadn't finished the piece to camera.
Oh, you carried on?
Yeah. I went and had a beer afterwards just to check that my skull was all right. Went home to my wife and I told her what happened. I showed her what happened. Yeah. And she said, oh, you're all right?
Yeah.
I said, oh, yeah, I'm all right. I think I'm all right. She could go and bath Addison, my son. So I didn't get much sympathy at home either. But yeah, that thing went around the world. I actually told the work about it, not thinking that it would take off like it did. But I kept on getting all these messages from, there's like, world's funniest home videos. I kept getting messages in the world. And every now and then I get somebody who sends me a message on Facebook. Have you seen this latest video of, reporters going wild, and there's me getting my hit on the head with a noggin. Again, after so many years of what reporting that I'm proud of, you've asked me 2 questions and it's about a skateboard and me swearing. That's not the way I'd like to be remembered, but I accept that's part of it.
I think, in conclusion, you probably had the most unique story as a news reporter. First a skateboard, and then...
I have covered other things though, Nick, like September 11, Hurricane Katrina, Haiti, earthquake, Gaza. The skateboard and getting caught swearing, they won't even make my top 100.
Really?
No.
Jeez,
no.
you've had a roller coaster.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I think the moral of the story is wrong place, wrong time, just unluckiness. But no one remembers for that, so don't worry.
No, they will remember for that.
An Aussie legend.
No, not at all. From now on, like it used to be, you type in Mike Amor. Yeah, I have done it. Mike Amor, and you see skateboard hit in the head. Now it's going to be, got caught swearing with Rebecca Madden and skateboard in the head. So things to be proud of, huh?
Yeah. Well, they could always be worse, couldn't it?
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess. If there's worse to come, I'm not going to survive. I can tell you that, Nick.
That's exactly right. Anyway, thanks so much for joining us today, Mike. I really appreciate your time.
I promised to do this for the record. I had promised to do this before I got caught swearing, right? So I'm not trying to make the most of getting caught swearing, but I did promise to do it, so I upheld my promise.
No worries. Thanks so much again, and appreciate it.
Okay,
Thank
mate.
you. Cheers.